This was Akira Toriyama's response to Goku vs. Superman.
Know your place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
After watching Ultra Instinct Omen Goku vs. Jiren in episode 129, it's clear to me anyway that this was Akira Toriyama's response to the years and years of debates over who would win, Goku versus Superman. Jiren is obviously meant to reference Superman in just his strength, unbelievable strength, and even the fact that he's a superhero. It couldn't be much clearer. And this fight showcases exactly what a fight between these two legends may look like. I mean, you may be on the side that Superman is definitely not this powerful, and there is some merit to that, but at the same time, there are different versions of Superman. Superman has had some great feats, and it looks like Akira Toriyama was like, you know what? Hold my beer, I got you, Goku, and gave Goku this unbelievable power that put him on the same level, if not above this level. Watching episode 129, it really soaked in how much of a grand epic the Tournament of Power is. Actually, how much of a grand epic Dragon Ball Super has been. I mean, there are a ton of flaws in the Super, don't get me wrong. There's a ton of stuff that I love. But at the same time, once we're seeing this climax, this version of Goku that we've never seen before, just the way it's been amped up, the point of view that we're supposed to be looking at it through, it's obvious. This is Goku's finale, in my opinion. This is the end. This is the culmination of all of Goku's years of trying to be #1. This is it. And some of you guys may be saying, well, there's still several other universes that are higher ranked than our universe, or the universes that we've been seeing, and so Goku fights people in those universes, and I think there could be opponents that are on that high level in these other universes, but at the same time, just for a matter of perspective, I think that this is being showcased as the final story of Goku, even at the end where all the gods of destruction stand up, because they are in the presence of mastered ultra or true or complete, whatever you want to call it, Ultra Instinct, true Ultra Instinct. It seemed like they've never seen it before, or at least they've never seen it in someone that was immortal. This was amazing. And so the episode itself, going into it, it was a mixed bag up until the end. So it had a lot of story points where you have these characters on the sidelines, they're debating throughout the entire beginning of the episode and talking, and I don't mind that, but it just seemed like they were kind of saying the same stuff they've been saying. Every time they see Ultra Instinct, they're like, oh my god, this is it, this is Goku's limit, you know, this and that. And even Whis' little monologue on Ultra Instinct, it frustrated me a little bit, even though it was a beautiful poem, essentially. He had beautiful words, but it irritated me because it didn't explain anything really, unless you really kind of dissect it and go into it and make some assumptions. It didn't explain anything about Ultra Instinct. I was hoping for him to say just one sentence, this is the power of angels. That's it. That's all I was hoping, because if this can beat Jiren, who has beaten Belmont, then you'd have to think this is getting up there to be either Goku's becoming his own type of god that isn't a god of destruction, it's like a true god that he can do whatever he wants, or he's on that same level as angels. And so the episode beginning was a lot of this, plus a lot of reused footage. I've been critical in the past of this reused footage, you guys know that, but now that we're going to the ending of Dragon Ball Super, I've seen the formula. They have some of these fights, they have some reused footage, and then at the end they have some unique footage, original footage that they've created just for that episode that ends up being epic. And that's what's been happening at least for the last 5 to 10 episodes. The last little bit has been epic. So when it comes to this reused footage that they've had throughout the beginning of the fight, it was pretty standard, and it didn't really detract from the fight at all for me, honestly, even though there were some multiple reused spots. When the climax of Ultra Instinct Omen Goku comes into play against Jiren, they're going into this sort of, their fists are flailing at each other at such an unprecedented rate that it looks like they're having this sort of beam struggle with each other. And at one point when Jiren is trying to take the stage right under Goku, and that's an awesome way for this fight to sort of go into its conclusion phase, because, you know, I never would have thought of that. I thought that Jiren would try to take Goku out the old-fashioned way, but no, he can't hit Goku, really. So he's trying to do it as fast as possible, as strong as possible, and as smart as possible. And not only does he repel Goku's attempt to try to take him out like he did with Kefla, no, he also is able to contain Goku's in one spot and whittle down the stage underneath Goku's feet, which I thought was an amazing moment in the episode, that they're going to these heights. And that's one thing about the Tournament of Power you really can say, is that they've gone and made Dragon Ball very strategic, and it almost is reminiscent of those back in the old school Dragon Ball days, because Dragon Ball Z had some of it, but for the most part it was you power up, I power up, beam struggle. So as they're having this sort of fist struggle, Toppo's seeing that, oh, Goku is fighting automatically. He's fighting through the punches, and he does. He ends up hitting Jiren, and at that moment, Goku is ascending into this mastered Ultra Instinct state, and it was just so fantastic. At this point, I was like, okay, I'm all in. Everything, all the flaws that were happening in the beginning of the episode, I really was kind of judging my score of this episode on that. But then once this started to happen, it almost erased completely what was happening before, because I'm like, okay, this is the story you guys wanted to tell. This is where all the money went into. When Jiren is about to do his finisher to try to take out Goku, I mean, Belmont's going crazy on the stands. He's going crazy after hearing Vegeta's little monologue about how Saiyans push themselves and have proven to push themselves in this tournament. Belmont's just going apeshit in the stands. He's like, Jiren, take this guy out before he finds a way. And he does. Jiren throws all his energy at Goku. Goku ascends and pops up right behind Jiren, holding all the energy in the palm of his hand and then letting it go. This scene was so reminiscent, in my opinion, of Marvel and DC Comics, specifically DC Comics, with some of the things I've seen on there, where these titans are holding either like worlds in their hands or powers in their hands, or people's attacks in their hands, because that's how powerful they are. Very reminiscent. A lot of influence from American Western comics in this. It was awesome. I loved seeing this, and that's how I knew. I was like, oh my god, Goku is glowing. Even the visuals from Goku look so amazing. And at that moment, we get one of the best scenes, the best stills that I've seen in Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball in general, in a long time. I mean, there are a top 10 of moments that I love seeing. One of them for me, other one in the tournament, is when Goku jumps over Kefla's attack. And you see him kind of gracefully jumping over it and about to hit her with that Kamehameha. That's another moment. This was one as well. And Jiren tries to hit him. Goku literally just teleports out of his way. And it's almost very Naruto-esque the way his body's moving. And then we get something that we haven't seen since the Fusion Reborn movie, is punches hitting Jiren without really us seeing these punches. This attack is something that we've seen Gogeta do in the Fusion Reborn movie. If you guys haven't seen it, it's one of the better Dragon Ball Z movies. Go ahead and check it out. Gogeta hits Janemba with a flurry of punches. You can't even see them coming, and that's exactly what happened. Jiren gets hit along from the top of his shoulder, I believe it was, and it went all the way down his abs, and it almost knocked him off. He didn't even see it coming. And it was just so awesome to see. Very time skippy effect, like hits time skip. And then Jiren attacks Goku head on with another one of his flurry of red blasts that he does. And Goku repels it. Jiren attacks him again. And at this point, we get one of the coolest punches, I guess, that we've seen in a long time. This episode had a lot of cool stuff in it. And the next episode and the one after that, we're going to get a lot of memorable scenes, I already feel like. Goku's just there raising his arm, and then Jiren's just flailing around because he's getting punched a million times, and he goes flying into the stage. And then at this point, we get an awesome reveal of Goku's face. His aura kind of crumbles around him, similar to the Super Saiyan Blue aura. And it was weird. At one point, when he was walking toward Jiren, he looked like he was in his Super Saiyan state. So I'll have some videos on discussing that later on. But we get the reveal of Goku's mastered Ultra Instinct, and it's just essentially, again, looking like base Goku, extremely buff. Like, the buffness levels are on the same ranking as when he fought Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga. That's how buff Goku is. And in the next episode preview, we see him and Jiren go all out. Jiren is shirtless and looking huge as well, and they're just pounding it out. I'm ecstatic to see the next episode. And a lot of people are saying that, okay, well, it looks like Jiren is transforming, or he transformed to something. It doesn't look that way. It just looks like he's going into full power, or even just him with his shirt off, because he's a big dude. So I think Jiren, this is it for Jiren. This is going to be the ending of the next episode. Goku is going to either take out Jiren or wound him so badly that before Goku either burns out, which I'm hoping he doesn't, because they mentioned this in the episode as well, like that Goku has been burning out before. Hopefully he doesn't burn out this time. I'm hoping he doesn't burn out, but if he does, more likely, you know what it is. You know what time it is. Frieza time. He's going to wake up and probably be the one to take out Jiren or something along those lines. We'll see exactly what happens with Frieza at the end. I can't really speculate on it because there's so much things that could happen with him, and maybe I'll make a video later down the line about it. But this episode was fantastic, and I have to give this episode a 7 out of 7 Dragon Balls. That's right, another 7 out of 7 Dragon Balls. These episodes are getting that hype. For those of you guys who don't know, that's my scaling. It's a 10 out of 10. Loved it with all its flaws. I mean, episodes can have their flaws. With all their flaws, I loved it. I loved how it just wrapped up, and it almost felt like I was watching the conclusion to a epic for a character. Like, even though the writing is different, and you know, you can debate on which one's better, but it really felt like I was watching like Lord of the Rings or something, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or Star Wars trilogy. Like some of these great epics that we've seen, where at the last episode the hobbits are all jumping on the bed and stuff like that, and you get to see them kneel in front of Aragorn because he's the king now. Stuff like that. Yeah, even with the God's Destruction standing up, that's their equivalent of kneeling in front of the king, which is Goku, and I loved it. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys would rate this episode, whether it be, and try to use my scaling if you want. I mean, you guys can use a 10 out of 10 or whatever, A, B, and C, but, you know, I do 7 out of 7 Dragon Balls, and that's essentially my little gimmick. But let me know in the comment section below, guys. Also, let me know what you guys thought of the episode, any cool points, if anything that you may think I get wrong. I know the whole Superman comparison might get people turned up a little bit, but yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys. And don't forget to drop me a like if you like anything I had to say, because likes definitely help out this video a lot. And subscribe if you like discussions, theories, news, reviews based on Dragon Ball. This is going to be Dragon Ball Black, signing off.